Welcome back, Legionnaires. This is Thunder, bringing you some casual gamer content. Today we're talking about POE2, Path of Exile 2, currently being developed by Grinding Gear Games of Australia. It is the direct sequel to Path of Exile 1, released back in 2009. And the reason why we're talking about Path of Exile as opposed to the traditional Diablo content is because I'm super excited about this game. Clearly it's a passion project for the developers out of GGG. It's clearly a game being developed by gamers for gamers, developers that love their genre, love their game development. They're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this game. They're taking a ton of feedback from the community. They're iterating on systems that worked really well from POE1, bring them into POE2, enhancing it. And first and foremost, they are also working on improving the barrier to entry. One of the biggest issues that Path of Exile 1 had wasn't in the quality of content, certainly wasn't into the quantity of content. It was the huge barrier to entry for new players and casual gamers like myself. The game was just too complicated and complex and difficult, and it scared a lot of players off, myself included. Tried Path of Exile once, and it just I couldn't get into it. It was too much. I didn't have enough time to delve into it, to really dedicate myself to it. You know, there's gamers that play the Path of Exile 1 for 1,000 hours and are still considered kind of new to the game. So, but moving forward, Path of Exile 2, it looks to be almost like the perfect medium, between a casual friendly game and a game for the Mega Blasters. So our plans moving forward is to just really play this game, learn its systems, get into it, go deep into this game. It just looks incredible. You're seeing the gameplay footage on my left here, and the game looks incredible. The systems are incredible. We'll talk a little bit about today. But if you're a casual gamer, the time is now to get into this game. So overview of Path of Exile 2. The game is in development currently. It goes into early access on December 6th. The ways to gain access to the early access mode is to get a key. Well, how do you get an early access key? You can purchase one of the supporter packs on the Path of Exile website. The cheapest one is $30 USD. They're also doing regional pricing. Or you can get a key if you've spent more than $480 USD in microtransactions on the first game. If you're over that threshold, you automatically get gifted a key to access early access. Once the game goes into early access, the developers are going to continue to iterate on it for 6 to 12 months. That's the range before the game goes into full launch. So early access in December, come the summer, June sometime, the game could be full release or all the way into the following December. So if you're like me and you're wondering a little bit about what exactly you're going to be doing, whether you're new to the action RPG genre or you're just new to the game and you're kind of wondering what you're going to be doing, this is the rundown of what you're going to be doing in Path of Exile 2. First and foremost, you'll pick your class. So you'll come in, you'll choose a starter class. There are 6 starter classes at early access. There will be 12 available at launch. The six early access classes are the Warrior, the Sorcerer, the Ranger, the Monk, the Mercenary, and the Witch. There is 2 classes focused on strength, 2 classes focused on intelligence, 2 classes focused on dexterity. Each class has 2 ascendancies at early access, and then they will have 3 ascendancies they can evolve to at launch. So, for example, the Witch's 2 ascendancies in early access would be the Blood Mage or the Infernalist, which is a class that can kind of transform and summon a fire demon, etc., etc. We're not going to go deep into the classes, but that is the general gist of what the first thing you'll do when you play Path of Exile. Once you've chosen your class and customized your character a little bit, the general battle rhythm you'll follow playing the game is you'll play Acts 1 through 3. Then you'll repeat Acts 1 through 3 on the cruel difficulty, and by then you'll be right about level 65, give or take, and then that's when you'll progress into the endgame system, the Atlas map. For full release, there will be 3 more acts, so the general rhythm that you'll follow is you'll go new character, Acts 1 through 6, and then by then you'll be around level 65. Grinding Gear Games understands that endgame is the end-all be-all for action RPGs and a lot of games in this genre, so they decided to put a lot of dev time into the endgame and forego the last 3 acts for early access only. But again, once full release hits, you'll have Acts 1 through 6 you'll progress through. That's the campaign, that's the story, and then once then, you'll get to the endgame. So, once you've completed the campaign, Acts 1 through 3, twice, you'll unlock the Atlas system. It is a procedurally generated map full of a whole bunch of nodes that are essentially randomized zones. So you'll start at the ziggurat in the center, as you see here, and then you'll branch outward. You'll pick your path. You're doing your mapping. You'll pick a node. It will be procedurally generated, so it'll be different and fresh every single time. There's over 400 different enemy types at early access, so it'll feel very fresh. You'll pick your mode, and then you'll just expand outward. The Atlas system is procedurally generated and infinite in all directions. So as you go through, you'll find different types of nodes, you'll find towers, you'll find boss nodes, and you just expand outward. And then based on the preferred playstyle you like, you can pick your way through. So some of the endgame systems you'll see in the Atlas system itself are like the Breach. Breach will be a type of node, essentially where there's a rift in the world between our world and the demon world, and mobs are just spawning. They just spawn, and you get really highly specialized rewards for playing breach maps. The more you play a breach map, the more you unlock points to the skill tree associated with breach on the Atlas skill tree. Other map types are expedition. Essentially, expeditions, you're trying to uncover artifacts, and the more artifacts you uncover, more mobs spawn. Okay, you're starting to see a pattern of mobs, slay, rewards. Ritual, another type. You'll stay inside of a certain radius, and the more mobs you kill within inside the radius of that ritual, the more loot and more rewards you get. Another another node type, Delirium. It's a map where you go in, there's a mirror, you go inside the mirror, and you essentially get transformed into a nightmare version of that map. And the more types you slay inside there, the better rewards you get. You see this pattern of slay things, become more efficient, more powerful, increase the difficulty, get more powerful, increase the difficulty, better rewards. There'll also be pinnacle threats. There'll also be pinnacle bosses, a pinnacle tower, and there will be extended trials. So once you've taken your class to end game, you're ready to ascend into one of your at early access there'll be 2, and at full launch there'll be 3. Once you're ready to ascend into one of your chosen ascendancies, you have to complete one of the trials. Well, once you've done that and you're deep in the end game, you can go back to those trials and go deeper and deeper as part of the end game system. Those are the 7 main end game activities at early access: the breaches, the expeditions, the rituals, the deliriums, pinnacle bosses, pinnacle towers, and the extended trials. Okay, let's talk about some systems as far as character progression. With any action RPG game, you want to talk about your skills. In Path of Exile, you get droppable skill gems that you then socket into your character, and they give you a skill. There are up to 100 different active skills and almost 100 different supportive gems that modify your skills. Each skill gem can be modified with up to 5 support gems. So you get a skill, I'm pulling out of the air, let's say it's a skill gem that's a fireball. Okay, cool. Any class can use any skill. There's no restrictions. I put it into, let's say I'm running a sorcerer. I get a skill gem for fireball. I put it in there, and then I can select up to 5 different support gems that change the way that fireball interacts. So instead of just casting one fireball, maybe I get a support gem that allows me to cast double fireballs, or fireballs reverberate, or fireballs zigzag, etc., etc., etc. The customization is almost limitless with the skill gem system. Additionally, it's an action RPG game. The whole point of the game is to progress our character and get loot. We are getting loot. The in-depth skill equipment skill system for Path of Exile 2 is been iterated on so many times. It is phenomenal. They moved away from putting skill gems into sockets on your items, and you just put them on yourself. So now the loot system is just a pure loot system. It's just about finding the best equipment, crafting, iterating, adding modifiers, getting better. 4 loot rarities: common, magic, rare, and unique. With uniques obviously having modifiers or affixes on there that really change and shape your build. Those are the things we're really be hiding for. So that, in a nutshell, is Path of Exile 2, and that's the state of it at early access on December 6th. The developers are going to continually iterate. They've mentioned that they intend to add leagues, which are basically the seasons for Path of Exile, in early access, up to 2 or 3 leagues. But moving forward, the game looks super promising. The game looks incredible, feels incredible. Sound design is off the chain. The game has just got me super, super excited, and a lot of people in the action RPG community are excited for this game. So moving forward, we plan to stream and drop a lot of content for Path of Exile 2. I hope you're as excited as I am, and I cannot wait to see you there on December 6th.